My quest starts here, in Risoul Church. When I was a young shepherd, in the year of grace 1202, this church was on the pilgrim way to St. James of Compostela. So, I said to myself, a pilgrim who has travelled among so many people across Europe may well have heard of the place where my hand is to be found. The only problem is that the pilgrims don't pass through this way nowadays. The pilgrimage to Compostela is one of the greatest pilgrimages in Christendom. The pilgrims used to follow the trade routes all the way to the legendary tomb of St. James in Spain. At night time, they would generally make a halt and request charitable lodgings in one of the monasteries that they encountered along the route. Pilgrims wore a special costume so they could be easily recognized. After they had arrived in Compostela, the custom was to bring a shell back, the cockle shell of St. James. They would pin it to their cloaks or hats to show that they had completed the whole route. This is the shell you can see, carved in 3 different places on the portal to the church in Risoul. These carvings show that pilgrims were welcome here, maybe in that very building you can see on your left. Further up the valley, the church in Vars also has some carved shells on its doorway. Yes, indeed, there was a second pilgrim route that passed through our country. It came from Italy, through the Col de Vars. Take a look at the old doorway on the right. Can you spot the capitals on the columns? Can you see the carved heads that date from the 16th century, as at Guillestre? The first capital shows leaves and pine cones, symbols of life and fertility. This old church dates from the time when I was in charge of the priory of Saint-Marie-de-Cam. The new church is much larger. It was built at right angles to the old one, and a bell tower 32 meters high was added. The buildings on either side were built at a later date. Finally, the door to the old church was moved, to become the doorway to the new church. For my part, I often come to preach in this church, and my favourite bits are the capitals in the old apse of the Romanesque church, in the chapel to your right. 4 human faces with hands raised in prayer. They are known as orants.